Hi guys, it's Sherry Ward here today from Square Tree Publishing. And today what we're going to talk about is the different styles of writing, because there's different ways that you can write. And what I've always been told, or what I've always been heard, is that you're supposed to write for a half hour or an hour each day and have that consistent habit. However, can I make a declaration? I'm a binge writer. And I'm embarrassed to say that because a lot of times I feel like I'm saying, okay, I'm a binge eater or something, and it's something bad to do. If you look online, everybody says, oh, you shouldn't binge write, that's not good and all that kind of thing. But I'm a binge writer, so I thought, what the heck, I'm just going to talk about it today and tell you a little bit about it. The reason why I like to binge write is because I get into what they call flow. Flow is when you get into that really creative spot, and I really like the definition that the Huffington Post has, and it's by Scott Barr Hoffman, and he said that flow is a mental state of being completely present and fully immersed in a task, and it's a strong contributor to creativity. And that's what I like. It's outside of distractions, you just lose track of time, and it's just such a nice place to be in. I don't know about you, but there's many times that I try to get into a work mode, or you try to get in that flow, and all of a sudden it hits all of a sudden. But sometimes it literally takes me 20 minutes to a half hour to kind of free up all the distractions to even get there. And I feel like God's made us to be very creative people, and when you're flowing with Him and His Spirit, for me, it comes on me, and I just keep going and keep going and keep typing, and I keep writing. And I always call that getting the download. And once I get in that flow, I just keep going. I can literally write 10 or 12 hours a day, and the time just flies by. Now that might sound a little bit impossible, like how in the world can you write 10 or 12 hours a day and the time just flies? Well, what I want you to do is I'm going to give you some tips today, and I want you to try it out and see if it works for you. So tip number one to get into the binge writing mode is to get rid of all your distractions. And so what I'd like you to do is just clear your desk, turn off your phone, turn off your computer. You can't turn your computer off, but you can turn off your notifications on your computer. Let your family and your coworkers know not to disturb you. And there's no excuse if you have kids. I know that people are like, oh, I got kids, there's just no way. They always barge in and do whatever. You need to train them. You need to train them that when you're behind closed doors, that they have this secret knock or they do something so that you know what's going on. And I remember when I wrote my very first book that I had 3 children, and they were all older elementary age. And so what I did is I promised them, I said, okay, if you guys can be really good, then on a Saturday, each of you get to have one friend over, and that's your special treat. So literally I had 6 kids. I sat them all down. I told them what the deal was, that, I'm going to be writing and you guys can't disturb me, and this is a special treat because you get all your friends. And then I made them a snack. I came out for lunch, made them lunch. And then I went back in and wrote, and then came back and then dropped all the kids off. And that was probably a 10-hour day that day. So it can be done even with kids. You just have to train them on certain things that they can do or not do when you're writing. One of the other things you can do is go to Starbucks. Some of you may like to listen to music as you're writing. I probably don't like to listen to music as much, or I just listen to one song and I loop it over and over and over again so that my mind is not concentrated on the lyrics. I have a friend that when she's script writing, as she's doing that, she puts music for scores to songs on there, and that's one of the things that she does, and that really helps her. And then the other big thing I can tell you is when you are in that flow and that creativity, do not edit at the same time. It can really trip you up. If you misspelled something, if you forgot a comma, don't worry about it. Just keep going. What the basic thing that you want to do is just get out all that writing out on the paper, and then come back and edit a second round. So you're just getting everything out. Just keep going, getting it all out, because it's a right brain, left brain thing. And if you're trying to edit at the same time you're writing, it's really going to trip you up. Don't worry if your chapters are not in order. Get rid of the perfectionism that you have to get it right the first time. I remember I was at a workshop and there was a lady there, and we had an activity that we had to do, and we had to solve this puzzle. You know, I had to go out of the lines and try to solve it. She would not put her pencil down. She did it in the air as she was doing it. She was too afraid to make a mistake. She was too afraid to put it down on paper and commit to it when it wasn't really working. So those are just some of the ideas that we have for, if you want to try to binge write. What you want to do is, if you have other ideas for books, then what I suggest is that you have a notebook next to you, or a piece of paper, or whatever you want to have next to you. And if you think, oh, that'd be a good book idea, or that would be a really good whatever for another project, you take that idea and you write it down. That way you don't lose the idea, but you can stay extremely focused on the book that's in front of you. I think that's really a good thing. The big thing with me is I don't binge write to hit a deadline. If I did, it probably wouldn't be as enjoyable. I mean, I have a general goal of when I want to finish the book, but I'm not like hardcore deadline, like I have to do it, because then it puts the pressure on you and then you can't be in that flow state. I love to binge write. I love to get in that flow. I completely lose track of time. Like I said before, I mean, a lot of times it's 10 to 12 hours a day, which is quite a bit. So if you haven't tried binge writing, give it a try. Let us know in the comments how it goes for you, how it works. See if you like it. If you don't, then that's fine. You can write, for half hour a day, that'd be awesome. But give binge writing a try and see how long you can go and just be in that flow state. Everybody's different, and so let me know again in the comments below how it goes. At Square Tree Publishing, we want to help you become a published author. And so if you would like a free 15-minute consultation to speak to us about your book idea, then go ahead and click the link below and set up a day on my calendar. All right, until next time for your tip. Talk to you later.